All right, everybody. Good evening. And here it is, day one after the actual new edition story. Day one. Please excuse the background noise. My wife is making a lot of noise in the background, so please excuse the noise in the background. That's my daughter, Sydney, in the background. So, as you know, the first day of the new edition story, which a lot of people was waiting and anticipating the new edition story because they've been talking that up for the past 3 months, I would have to say. So we've got the first day in the books. Of course, y'all know it's a 3 day story in regards to the things that happened and how New Edition became famous with Rodney, Bobby, Ricky, Mike, Ralph, and Johnny Gill. So with that being said, I'm hoping I get viewers to join the conversation in regards to how the first day of the show went. As we know, the show just finished. It started when they was kids and how it all transpired. Um, excuse me, that was just my baby girl. That's just how it started. So with that being said, I hope everybody, enjoyed the show. For me, the first this show, and my wife can even say the same. Well, this is what my wife thought about it in regards to the show. She was like, "Oh, you know, um, she was ready for. She didn't want to see the new edition. She didn't want to see the part when new edition pretty much started out as kids, the young popcorn kids doing the show. Becoming how they become. I want to see the whole show. I want to see how it started from the beginning to the end. She was ready for them to be teenagers or grown ups, adults, stuff like that. And I know I had a few other people that mentioned that on the on Facebook and whatnot, because a lot of people, I'm sure a great deal of people watch the show, and I'm sure a great deal of people will continue to watch the show for the next 2 days. What I will say about the show is that hold on one second. If you want to watch it, just hit the link. I posted the link in my on my Facebook page. My Facebook page is Sean Bishop Davis. Sean with the SHAUN, Bishop Davis. You'll see it, and there's a post, a link that you can link. You hit. Hold on one second while I help someone with the link. Um, so um, it yeah, I'm trying to get as many people to join in to talk about the new edition story. Um, because I was a huge New Edition fan. I grew up, I'm I'm in my 40s. I'm 45, about to be 46, and I grew up watching or listening to New Edition. I can actually recall the first time I actually listened to New Edition when I was still in school. I think I was in when they came out. They came out in like '85, so I was like 14. So yeah, I was in junior high school, and I remember being at the bus stop when I very first heard their song Candy Girl. And when I heard that song, I was at a bus stop, somebody was playing it on their, tape deck or whatever, tape recorder or whatever, playing the song. And I clearly remember that when I heard it, the first thing I thought of and first group I thought it I thought it was the Jackson Five and Michael Jackson, because when I heard it, Ralph Tresvant at the time, he had his vocals sounded a great deal like Michael Jackson when Michael Jackson was young. So with that, I was like, man, that sounds just like Michael Jackson. I mean, he sounds just like Michael Jackson. Later on, I come to find out it wasn't Michael Jackson. It was Ralph Tresvant who was actually the who was actually doing the who was it was New Edition. I didn't know that. And then once I heard it and heard that song Candy Girl, everybody, and when Candy Girl came out, everybody was liking Candy Girl. Candy Girl was like one of the hottest pop corn type songs at the time, during that time frame in which when I was coming up. So when I heard Candy Girl, everybody was loving Candy Girl. Then they came out with uh other songs in regards to like Popcorn Love, Is This the End, stuff like that. They just came out with all types of songs, and they was very, very good at it. You know what I'm saying? They was very, very good at it. Now, with that being said, as far as the show is concerned, back in the day when they first came out, I heard different stories on how New Edition came about. The way they're um portraying the movie and the way they're telling the story, that isn't the way in which I heard how New Edition actually came about. I'm not gonna say how I heard what the story in which I heard, because of obviously that was wrong on how I heard about them coming out initially. But with the story, with the New Edition story, it looks as though it was different. It was totally different from what everybody, or what I heard of at the time. So, with that being said, it is what it is. But I don't know. So far, I like the show. I like day one of the show. I think they picked some good actors, young and older, to portray the parts. And I think they pretty much nailed it in regards to the trying to get everybody to be the individual characters of New Edition. Um, didn't know, the story tells you a lot of, like I said, tells you a lot of things in which you didn't know. I didn't know. I assumed that they were all linked together in some way, form, or fashion, and became New Edition. But I didn't know that Ronnie DeVoe came online like later on. Like, I didn't. I thought they were friends that pretty much hung out, you know, all the time, and they became a group. But I should have known better, because most groups, that's how the way New Edition started is the way a lot of other groups started, like Troop and other groups of that nature. They all started the same way. A couple of guys were friends, hung out with each other, and then they knew one of them may have known somebody else, and they added this, add these guys, add this guy, so forth and so on. So with that being said, please excuse the baby in the background. But I think that's how a lot of groups get started, and that obviously that's how New Edition got started, with the boys starting off young, and 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 all the stuff in which they did, how they first started, and how the group began, and how Michael Bivins really didn't want a group, didn't want to be a part of New Edition, didn't really want to be a member of a group. His ultimate goal was to be obviously a basketball star. He had dreams of being, probably, I'm assuming he had dreams of being in the NBA, because he was upset, as y'all saw in the show, about getting the contract to be, what I'm saying, um getting the contract to start, being a part of the record deal. So that wasn't in his future, being a part of New Edition or being a part of a group. His whole future was about being, a basketball star. I'm sure, which is what a great deal of people do anyway. Well, a lot of us kids do when we're younger. Our goal is our dreams. A lot of our dreams is to be the next big basketball star, football star, baseball star, some type of sports or athletic person. And somehow our career path goes a different direction because of certain things in which have happened in our life. But Michael Vivens, I would have never known that. I knew he was a huge basketball fan and he loved to play basketball, but I didn't know that, because of the story, it lets you get more involved and understand where he wanted to go, in what direction he wanted to go in regards to his life in the future. But his mom told him, go ahead and keep it moving. Now, I will say, um, how they did their first manager, I thought that was kind of jacked up. I will say that, and that was on the mothers. The mothers, I get it. Mothers gonna try and take care of their kids and whatnot. They're gonna try and make sure that their kids are taken care of. But at the same token, he explained to them every reason, or all the reasons why the mothers and the kids in the group wasn't seeing money. Now, don't get me wrong, $1.87 split 5 ways. Yeah, that's crazy. But he explained it to them, and they still didn't get it. Now, as far as the mothers are concerned, they got Lala as what is it, Ronnie's mom. They got old girl as Ralph's mom. You know, They got that. I feel like they picked the mothers pretty well. The mothers, I think they did a pretty good job in picking their mothers. Um, I just don't. I don't agree with how their mothers did the first the first manager, and um, that was real. I feel like I'm sure that was a lot left out in how all that played out in actuality. I believe that wasn't really how it played out. I'm sure, but I see I got two viewers. Please, viewers, if you can show your face or whatever, that'd be more than helpful, so we can get some insight from what y'all feel about the show, first day show of the New Edition story. But yeah, the mothers, they just didn't. I don't know. They did the manager wrong. I really feel like they did the manager wrong. And then New Edition, they were some bad kids, man. It was some bad kids, man. Bobby, you can tell Bobby was Bobby from day one. Bobby was Bobby from day one. And then for Bobby to be, when he was little, he was all shy. He didn't even sing when he was on stage. Compared to what he was when he was a child, to where he went to in his career, like, man, that's Bobby night. There was a Bobby difference from night to day, because Bobby was scared to even say two words on the mic when he was on stage. And then Bobby, look at what Bobby did later on in life. But with that being said, uh, so far day one was, like I said, I'm going back to day one. Day one was pretty good. They finally did make it into the teen years when they was more of a teenagers, and they was even more reckless and doing crazy things. You know what I'm saying? It was rather crazy. You know what I'm saying? Um, but I'm looking forward to seeing how it transpires, how it continues, how the legacy continues to go. Um, one thing I disliked about the show is I don't like how they started the show with Bobby Brown on stage singing and dancing and whatever, and what happened on in the beginning of the show. I really disagree on how they portrayed the beginning of the show, how it started. Excuse me. I don't really care for how they started it. I think they should have started it where the kids were. Whether Ronnie or Michael Bivins and Ricky Bell was playing basketball or something like that. I really don't think they should have portrayed the part where they put Bobby, showing Bobby being, Bobby, and what was happening on stage, and and then they rewinded it. I don't think they should have done it that way. That's just my take on it. I feel like that shouldn't have been how it started. It should have started, with the beginning, whether basketball or whatever. However, but it's crazy because Ricky Bell's mom didn't even want Ricky to hang out with Michael Bivins in the beginning of the show. She was like, can we go to this talent show or go over here with Ricky or Michael and hang out or whatever? She's like, who? Well, she asked who, and it happened to be Michael Bivins, and she was like, no. No, you ain't gonna hang out with Michael. Basically, she was saying Michael's a bad influence. No, you ain't finna hang out with Michael Bivins. Hell no. She was like, hell no, you're not about to hang out with Michael Bivins. So that's crazy. She didn't want Ricky to hang out with Michael. But Michael, Ricky Bell, and Bobby was friends. It looks like first, and then Ricky knew Ralph, which made them the four. And then when it came down to it, Ronnie, none of them knew Ronnie DeVoe. None of them knew Ronnie DeVoe. It was the manager who Ronnie was his nephew. And that's how Ronnie became a part of New Edition, because Ronnie was the nephew of their initial manager. So that's how that came about. But what I was amazed was I didn't know that they was allowing. I thought they were, but I didn't know for sure until now that I watched the very first show or the very first day of the story, that I didn't know that they were allowing the actual actors to sing the parts or to sing the songs of of New Edition, because the actors were actually singing. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, like, old boy that plays from Empire, who's playing Michael Bivins, he was doing the rap, at the beginning of the show and stuff like that. And all of them are actually singing. And I'm assuming the younger version of New Edition was actually singing too. So very shocked at that and very surprised. But I'm glad they did it. I mean, they did a good job. The little boys did real good. Everybody did real good. So I gotta, hats off to the cast who picked the cast and whatnot, because they did a real good job. I really feel like they did an excellent job with it. Um, I'm hoping the rest of the story goes well. Like I said, it's only day one. We got day two tomorrow and day three on Thursday. So looking forward to how all of that is going to pan out for the New Edition story. Um, like I said, everybody's been waiting and anticipating this story. So I'm very eager to finish watching the day two and day three. I'm recording it, of course, just in case I miss something. So I may, definitely go back and check some of the show out again, maybe tomorrow or earlier on in the day before the second show comes on, so that I can, maybe if I missed anything. Because sometimes, if you watch a show, you know how sometimes you miss something because of whatever, maybe your phone rang, or me is my daughter, so I'm paying attention to her and stuff like that. So I may have missed a few things here and there. So I'm definitely gonna relook at day one, before I look at day two, before day two comes out. So just tell me what y'all thoughts are about the show. What did y'all think? Was it to your expectations? Did y'all expect what y'all saw tonight exactly what it was gonna be? Did y'all expect more? Were y'all like my wife? Did y'all not want to see them that much as kids? Or was it okay? Was it just enough as with them as kids? Or what I'm saying, what are you looking for? What are you anticipating for day two? Stuff like that. Just enlighten me. Let me know how you feel about it. Okay. Again, this was day one of the BET story, of the New Edition story. So again, it comes on again tomorrow night, day two, at 20. Oh, I'm sorry. On that military time, I apologize. But for you military people, it's 2000 hours Eastern Standard, or Central Standard Time, and it's 8 o'clock Central Standard Time here in the San Antonio, Texas area. So again, I thank each and every one of y'all for watching and paying attention and tuning in to this show. I appreciate it. I'm gonna do the exact same thing tomorrow once I watch the show. So y'all be sure to enjoy. Please, 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 if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. If you like what I'm saying, you like the content, please be sure to hit that thumbs up. I'm looking for more people to join in into this conversation. So please tell any and everyone that whoever may be watching right now, tell them to join into the conversation tomorrow, because I will be doing the exact same thing tomorrow. So be sure to tune in tomorrow. I don't know if it'll be around the same time, but I will be doing it again tomorrow. As a matter of fact, I think I'm gonna go ahead and right here now and try and do it on Facebook Live and see if I can get it done. So with that being said, everybody, y'all have a great night. Thank y'all for tuning in to this. I really, really appreciate it. The Power 3 Podcast. This is your boy Sean, aka Bishop of Sigma Alpha Gamma Military Fraternity, Aru, and I'll holler back at you. It's your boy. I'm out. Peace.